If you're like me and you were born in the early 80s, you probably remember the Wonder Years. No, not like those. I'm not referring to a specific time period. I'm referring to the television show that got a woke reboot this year for whatever reason. And it looks like it's already in trouble after one season. Now, Fred Savage, who was behind the reboot, or at least given an executive role, executive producer on the show, is getting fired for, quote, inappropriate conduct. Now, Fred Savage has in the past had some legal issues with people who worked for him, and he was a childhood star. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised that he has some issues. Fred Savage fired from Wonder Year's reboot for, quote, inappropriate conduct. Now, I will say it is current year, and inappropriate conduct could mean that he double dipped a chip. So, I don't want to go straight to oh, he's been terrible. I mean, after all, look at the Bill Murray situation where he allegedly did something that he thought was funny. She didn't think it was funny, so she lodged a complaint. I don't really understand this modern work environment where like people are reporting each other constantly. It's probably, I guess, only a Hollywood thing because for the most part, people just get on with their lives and just trash their employees behind their backs. They are their coworkers. They don't go and file formal complaints and get production shut down. Last week, you saw Bill Murray. Bill Murray addresses his, quote, misconduct claims that shuttered his film. I did something I thought was funny and it wasn't taken that way, the 71-year-old actor and comedian said of his behavior. So when everybody, they use this word misconduct because it's so broadly encompassing. And I think as humans, when we hear misconduct in Hollywood, we automatically kind of like go to this situation where it's the worst possible thing. But you see Murray labeled the incident a difference of opinion with a woman he was working with on the film that led to the complaint and production showdown. I did something I thought was funny. It wasn't taken that way, he told the outlet. As of now, we are talking. We're trying to make peace with each other. Murray, who is reportedly a Berkshire Hathaway shareholder, said, we are both professionals. We like each other's work. We like each other. I think if we can't really get along and trust each other, there's no point in going further, working together, or making the movie as well. It's been quite an education for me. If you actually read between the lines there, it doesn't sound like Bill Murray's very sorry. Now, maybe I'm misinterpreting it as I'm just reading text on page, but it sounds like he might be saying, hey, listen, lady, I mean, I made a joke and you didn't like it. Do we really need to shut down the movie? I'm Bill effing Murray. I don't need to make your stupid movie, which is what I'm thinking. He writes, the world is a little different than when I was a kid. What I always thought was funny as a little kid isn't necessarily the same as what's funny now. The 71-year-old actor said, things change and times change, so it's important for me to figure it out. And I think the most important thing is that what's best for the other person. I thought about it, and if it's not the best for the other person, doesn't matter what happens for me. He added that what would make me the happiest is if both he and the woman are able to go back into work and trust each other to work. My guess is he like goosed her or something like that, or I don't know. So again, like when people said misconduct, multiple misconduct claims, it seems like Bill Murray made a joke that she didn't like, and they had to shut down the whole production because of it. Fred Savage now has been fired from his role as executive producer and director of Disney-owned reboot of the Wonder Years. Savage, who starred in the original Wonder Years, was investigated for, quote, inappropriate conduct before the decision came to fire the 45-year-old. Quote, recently we were made of claims of inappropriate conduct by Fred Savage, and as is policy, it was investigated and an investigation was launched. A spokesperson for the 20th Century Television said in a statement to Deadline, upon its completion, the decision was made to terminate his employment as an executive producer and director of the Wonder Years. Rumors of the misbehavior include, quote, verbal outbursts and, quote, inappropriate behavior. So, everyone's kind of putting these, I'm not defending the guy, but I'm just saying that, there's a difference between, groping somebody and making a bad joke. That he was actually sued back in the day for having another outburst. He's just another entitled Hollywood jerk, it seems like. Actress Allie Mills, who played Savage's mother on the original show, said in 2018 that the series was canceled back in 1993 over a completely ridiculous harassment suit that was going on against Fred Savage. So at whatever his age was, he was a teenager or something like that. There was also, so he has a history. The suit was filed against Savage, who was then 16, and a then 20-year-old Jason Harvey, who played Savage's brother on the show, claiming verbal harassment. Mills said her on-screen son is the least offensive, most wonderful, sweet human being that's ever walked on the face of the earth, so I just thought it was a big joke and it was going to blow over. Some innocent people can get caught up in stuff like this. Mills continued referring to generally the sweeping of the Me As Well movement. It's very tricky. It was so not true. It was so not true. It was my costumer, and I don't care if she's listening, she said. I probably shouldn't be telling this, but I don't care because it's so long ago and it's got to be over now. A woman in 2018 also claimed Savage harassed her on the set of The Grinder in 2015. The actor slammed the allegations completely without merit and absolutely untrue. An investigation of the claims found no wrongdoing. But he also got sued and lost. So, I mean, this isn't, either he's a magnet for these kind of targeting suits, or maybe he is kind of like an unhinged lunatic behind the scene. I don't care. The Wonder Years. Why did they reboot the Wonder Years? And what change did they make? Oh, it's just a black family now. That's the difference. That's a difference. Yeah. So like nobody was asking for it. I wonder if what the ratings are like. I mean, the Wonder Years premiere debut grew to 8 million after 35 days. Well, that's not too bad. Most people seem to like it. Maybe it's a good show. You see a lot of people saying the Wonder Years review, all reboot should be this smart. I don't know. 3 million, 4 million viewers, a successful reboot by ABC. So it seems like the show was going good. I did not expect that. But ultimately, I'm not one for reboots, really. I don't think there's anything that you could reboot that I would be interested in. Maybe the real Ghostbusters cartoon. You can't even do that anymore. Last month, legendary comedic actor Bill Murray was also accused of, quote, inappropriate behavior, leading to producers shutting down the entire project called Being Mortal. Principal photography for the set, a film adaptation of a book, Being Mortal, Medicine, I don't know, said to be halfway completed at the time it was shut down, just 3 weeks after it began. The nature of the claims are unclear, though Murray has disclosed that the issues concerns a female on the set. I entirely believe that Bill Murray did something that was probably perceived by modern Hollywood standards as inappropriate. I totally believe that Fred Savage probably did something stupid on the set. Why? Because that's what these Hollywood lunatics do. They're all the same. They're all like deeply damaged. They're all weird, and they all have these weird, backgrounds of things that come to light. Is Fred Savage an awful person? It seems unlikely. He seems like kind of a run-of-the-mill Hollywood person. And you can see a lot of the comments. Since legally you're innocent until proven guilty, if you're fired from a job over an allegation that does not result in a conviction, then you were fired for being innocent. And that should mean you can sue them. There will be time enough when the deed is done. Not necessarily. Misbehavior included bad behavior. Great word salad. Loved it. Yeah, I mean, this could be the new, men bad stuff, misconduct. I don't know. I hope Hollywood, we saw news this week of Hollywood essentially bracing for massive layoffs, and ratings are tanking, and the summer movie season is here. We'll have to see how this round, I guess Doctor Strange is doing pretty good. I don't really pay to see Marvel movies anymore. I'll wait to stream it. They're all basically the same. So I just choose not to consume. I'm not judging people that do there. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click that red subscribe button. 6 days a week, I upload up as many as 7 videos a day covering everything that's going on. I hope that today I've earned your subscription. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again real soon.